Okay, guys, it is finally here. It is finally time. Hi, and welcome to my non-spoiler review for the Snyder Cut. Yes, I will be doing a separate review for the Snyder Cut, Zack Snyder Justice League, or that would just really be like a spoiler discussion. This is more of my initial thoughts, kind of review for Snyder Cut. But if you haven't seen it yet, don't be worried about watching this video, because again, no spoilers. I am just, oh my gosh, I did take notes. Once I watched the movie, I kind of sat, reflected about it for about an hour. I was kind of crying. I got so emotional with this movie. But, and I do have notes, but I'm still so scared. I'm going to go off tangent about this. So we'll just see how this all goes down. Oh my, if you can't tell, this movie is so great. This movie is so great. But okay. Hey, my name is Destiny. If you are new here, I love to talk about movies and TV shows. If this is your second, third, fourth, or even fifth video, please go ahead and subscribe to the channel, because you know you love coming back and watching my videos. And like I said, I have some great stuff coming up. I have this review that you can watch now, the spoiler review for Snyder Cut. I'm gonna do weekly reviews for Falcon and Winter Soldier, so that will be interesting. So I am just so excited. Let's just get straight into this. I'm so excited to talk about this movie. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Oh, I need to calm down. I need to be like Barry and do meditation. Okay, this movie is so amazing. It's so amazing. In so many parts, it made me so emotional. Not just thinking about what it took to get here, but even the movie itself. It's just, I love the themes it explores of sacrifice and family. And okay, I'm already getting off a tangent. Let me look at my notes. Okay, so I think, of course, that this is just so different from the Justice League. Obviously, there were some people thinking that this would just be like, oh, is it really gonna be like that different, or why are people trying to advocate for a Snyder Cut? You know, the non-Zack Snyder fans, not even just non-Zack Snyder fans, but people who just want to ruin other people's good time. I don't know, but we have been vindicated because it's so different from Justice League. I am not exaggerating when I say this whole situation, I think, should be studied in film school. I'm not exaggerating. Small story time. I think this should be studied in film school. Not just the movie itself, but also the whole business side of the Snyder Cut and how this all went down. I think it's so fascinating. When I studied film, I did have a professor who I had so many different classes with him. But one of my classes, I did an independent study, and sometimes in that independent study, I could choose my own movies to examine. I would have to tell him, and I would write like papers about it. We would go like meet up and like once a week and talk about things, and I would like let him know what movie I chose. But that professor, he was more of like, he taught like the Shakespeare classes and things like that. He also taught a class about horror films and all that stuff, but he was not into comic book films, and I was. You know what, I want to introduce you to some films. So a couple of films I had him watch. We watched other things, but I introduced him to Black Panther and Captain America, the Winter Soldier, because I wanted to show him that comic book movies, those are both Marvel, but I want to show him that comic book movies can examine different topics. It's not just like, oh my gosh, action, things happening, nothing, no meaning. It's great stuff. So I think I was thinking that this would be a great thing to study in film school, because I would love to go back to that professor and talk about the Snyder Cut with him. I think he would find it very fascinating. So, story time over. Back to Zack Snyder Justice League. I just love this film because in the comparison of it, you can see that so many scenes have much more time to breathe. I did release a video yesterday ranking the DCEU movies, and of course at the bottom for me was Justice League, and I did mention that even though that movie is terrible, and I was suspicious that the only good moments in that movie were probably like the Snyder shot moments, and I believe I was right. I'll discuss that more in a spoiler review. That's technically not a spoiler since you already seen it, but yeah, I believe I was right. There are so many moments in the Snyder Cut that really only like a handful, but I'm like, those are the only good moments in Justice League. So again, the only good moments we got were from Snyder. Wow. And with the Snyder Cut, I think the editing and the VFX is so much better everywhere. Like with the Flash, the final battle scene, the final battle I'll talk about in the spoiler review, but it's just so great. The music is amazing. The music is fantastic. Honestly, oh my I just want to bask in the glory of this movie. Man. But that leads me into my next point. I just think, again, we are vindicated because it really shows that Joss Whedon butchered this movie. I don't think he really understood these characters at all, or even Zack Snyder's original intentions with these characters, and I don't think he really cared. And another thing I wanted to know, I do not think it was a coincidence that most of the characters of color were cut from this movie. Cyborg and his father, Kirstie Clemens' character, Iris West. I mean, she only has like, a small scene, but why, like, if she has a small scene, why cut it? With Ryan Chow and Star Labs, why was that cut? I don't understand that either. And like, so many things are cut down, but it doesn't seem like a coincidence to me that most of the things that were cut with the characters are mostly characters of color, especially after Ray Fisher came forward about Joss Whedon's and Jeff Johns. I'm not surprised. I think the Snyder Cut is very ambitious, and I could see, look, I'll play devil's advocate. I could see how your typical studio executive would kind of look at this movie and be nervous because it is very epic, and I mean, yeah, you do want things to be cinematic, but it does take risks, and I can see how they would be nervous. But they should take a leap of faith with this movie, like the characters in this film, because I don't understand why the DCEU studio executives in general always hesitate, and whenever they hesitate or change their mind, it's just the wrong choice. It's the wrong choice. They should not have like gone back on this film. It's just so great. And I personally believe, let me know what you think, the DCU is strongest when it's not trying to be like Marvel. I just think that DC doesn't need to play it safe. And this is coming as a Marvel fan as well. But I don't want DC to be like Marvel or vice versa. That's very boring. Why would I want the same thing every time? Even the Marvel movies I love, like my favorites are Iron Man, Black Panther, Winter Soldier, Spider-Man Homecoming. All of those movies are very different. So all these like comic book superhero movies, you do not have to be the same to be successful. Okay, now let's get into talking, again, no spoilers about the movie. And I do want to emphasize that, because I did, talk about Joss Whedon earlier, but I do want to emphasize that the Snyder Cut isn't just good in comparison to Justice League. It's good in general. It's great. It's amazing in general. But when you also compare it to what we got 4 years ago, it's like almost ridiculous in a way. It's like it blows my mind. It blows my mind. But I want to emphasize that it's not just good in comparison. It stands on its own. But when you examine it, I would love to see someone do like a cut comparison or something. But when you examine it from that point of view, it's just so wow, wow. But overall, I think the Snyder Cut is a very easy watch, even though it's 4 hours long. I watched it in one sitting. I did take a break after part 3 because I had to go to the bathroom and like pop some popcorn and like get water. Like I just refreshed my snacks and stuff. But other than that, I sat through the whole thing. I didn't take let me watch 3 parts and then the next 2 parts and then one. No, I watched it like in one morning. Yeah, so I know there were some people planning to break this up into multiple sittings, but I honestly don't know how you would do that because I feel like each part ends on a very good place. It has very strong pacing. It doesn't feel like 4 hours at all. So if you are doing it in multiple sittings, I'm impressed. I think the Snyder Cut has great, strong writing and structure. And again, great pacing and chapter breaks. I was just very impressed with the whole structure of the film and the writing in each part and how everything connected with the next part and the characters. And again, I'm trying not to spoil anything. Honestly, a lot of the stuff you should again come back for my spoiler discussion tomorrow. I'll probably be doing my review for Falcon and Winter Soldier, but I think Saturday, hopefully, I will have my spoiler discussion for Snyder Cut up. Hopefully. And now to the villains. It was mainly Darkseid is highlighted here, but it was mainly Steppenwolf. And again, the changes made to Steppenwolf is so impressive. But standing on his own, and he's just a great villain. He now has actual motivations. He actually is intimidating when he shows up. It's just not a caricature. Steppenwolf has really leveled up all the way. And another thing, I loved seeing Justice League together. I loved seeing them together, working as a team with their dynamic. It was so great. There were so many moments. I'm like, oh my gosh, this would be the way Flash would talk to Aquaman. This would be the way Wonder Woman would talk to Cyborg. Oh my gosh. It was great. It was awesome. And I love that maybe because I love mythology, but I actually got into mythology before I even got into comics. So I love comparing and making the Justice League into like modern day Olympians, especially like Wonder Woman, because she already has like Grecian, inspiration. One thing about the Justice League I actually like, maybe other people won't like it, but they are more violent. But it's not violence in a grotesque way, or like violence to like look cool, like oh my gosh, look at the blood spatter. No, it's not like that. But I actually like they were more violent because it was appropriate for what they were responding to, or the threat that they were facing. Like they don't have to go back and take the headshot. They take the headshot the first time, the only time. And now I want to talk about the different members of the Justice League. I'm going to go character by character because that was honestly just the easiest way to break this all up. And I'm going to go in order of my favorites. And honestly, when I was writing my notes and looking back on the movie, I'm like, wow, my favorites actually surprised me. So first is The Flash, Barry Allen. I am so shocked that he is my favorite character, because I think I don't know where I ranked him in Justice League, but he was so down on the bottom. I think maybe he was least, and now he's like upgraded all the way to the top. Flash is so amazing here. He's like not just comic relief. His jokes are actually funny, but that's not all he does. He also has dramatic moments as well, like with his father and even other members of the team, like Cyborg, even some conversations with Aquaman. And I love every single sequence of Barry running. His action sequences are visually stunning. I can't get over them. I just want to like screenshot all of them and just put them on my wall. It's visual art. It's so fantastic. And I love that in this one, again, since he's not just comic relief, they really emphasize that Barry is also a scientist, so he understands. He's not just like, oh, he runs fast. He understands what he's doing. And I was very impressed with my own knowledge when he would be explaining something. And I was like, oh yeah, I kind of understand what you're saying, even though I'm not a science person, but I get what you're saying. Maybe because I like the Flash. But I like that, again, he wasn't just a comedic relief here. He had a purpose. They emphasized his funny moments, his dramatic moments. He had so much heart in this movie, and it gave me so much hope for the Flash movie. I'm actually really looking forward to it now. Ezra Miller did a great job. Great job. Now, second is Wonder Woman. Oh my gosh, the warrior has returned. I am so happy. I love Zack Snyder's Wonder Woman. I love Diana Prince. I love seeing the raw power of Wonder Woman and how she's almost close in power to Superman. And now, even like, I guess this kind of connects, the Amazons. So much more respect is given to the Amazons, even in that first sequence, because you've seen this scene in Justice League, but you really haven't. They changed so much about it, and now the Amazons aren't just some cannon fodder for Steppenwolf. It's just the way it's filmed and shot is so different. I just love Wonder Woman. I love Diana Prince, and again, I love how I love how everyone interacts with each other in the team. It's so great. It's fantastic. And next is Cyborg, Ray Fisher. So I just have to say, I will never understand why so much of Cyborg was taken out from Justice League, because he had so much story. He really is the heart of this movie. I'll never get it. His powers are explored in so many interesting ways. Even the relationship with his father. I just had to take a moment of silence, because I don't get why Cyborg was. What did they do with him? He is so awesome in this movie. He is so amazing in this movie. Again, even like how they use his powers alone, how he can connect to the internet and everything, and how he utilizes that. And I love Ray Fisher's portrayal of being, am I half man, am I half machine? Like that whole argument with him himself. It's just so great. And I mean, I don't think this is a spoiler because, you know, they did release teasers and everything, but the line in the Cyborg's teaser of "I'm not broken and I'm not alone," when that actually does play, oh my gosh, I cried so much in this movie because not only, again, the emotions of how long it took to get to this moment, but also the emotions in the movie itself. Like when that line does come up, it was great. It was earned. Now next is Batman. I really love Ben Affleck, especially as Bruce Wayne. It's so fascinating how this, you can take the same scene, but it comes off so much more differently. Even the "I'm rich" line, it means so much more in this Zack Snyder Justice League, because it works better here because it actually is shown how Bruce uses his money and how he utilizes it, and not like, oh, I'm just rich and I just play around with my money. And I love that he's the leader of the team. And I also like how in Zack Snyder's Justice League is his guilt for, like, you know, being the cause almost of Superman's demise and everything, how that consumes him and why he wants to bring the Justice League together. Now next is Aquaman. Aquaman did have a smaller role, and there were so many things with Aquaman and Zack Snyder's Justice League that I actually wish, even though I did love Aquaman, I ranked it, well actually go and see where I ranked it in that video, but I do love Aquaman, the movie. And even though I love how that came out with James Wan's directing, I would have loved to see how this Aquaman and this situation that he's in, how that would have translated over to his movie, even just the costume design and everything. But I love how he again interacts with the team, and I actually do love his morality and how he approaches you know, bringing Superman back. And again, it's emphasized more of why he is reluctant to bring Superman back. It's not just, this is so crazy, why are we doing this? He actually has reasonings and thoughts and emotions. He comes off as a human. It's not just, again, like so many of these characters, like mostly, I remember from the first one, Cyborg, Flash, Aquaman, they really weren't given their own motivations. And in this film, you have so much more character development, so much more space to breathe, you know? Lastly but not least, I really want to emphasize this, not least, is Superman. I do want to say, manage your expectations for Superman. He's great. I love Superman. Can you see? Oh, no. I'm actually wearing a Superman shirt. You can't see it, but I love Superman. I love Henry Cavill as Superman, but he just isn't, you know, in the entire movie, obviously, because he's brought back later on. But the influence of Superman does loom over the movie. That's really the only reason why he's at the bottom. It's just because he doesn't come into the movie until later. We spend more time with the other members of Justice League. But again, I still love emphasizing the raw power of Superman. I love the Man of Steel theme. I love whenever the Man of Steel theme plays. Even if Superman isn't even there. I will always love that theme. And I can't really get into detail here. I will look out for my spoiler review. Like I said, I will try to get that up Saturday. But that final battle sequence with everyone, with all the Justice League, is just so fantastic. So fantastic. And again, I'll go into detail in the spoiler review. But for me, and I think for everyone, I think this is a must-watch movie. It's a must-watch movie. And if you want to watch it just to see the comparison between Justice League and Zack Snyder's Justice League, go ahead and do that. If you watch it because you're a fan like me, you've been advocating for a Snyder Cut forever, of course you're going to watch it. You probably already watched it. I think this is a must-watch movie for everyone. It's so great. It's so great. And again, I really want to emphasize, it's not just great in comparison to Justice League. It's great on its own. It's, even if you haven't, there are some people who have never seen Justice League. So if you want to go and watch this, yes, do it. Do it right now. You'll have a fun time. Like I said, it's 4 hours long, but does not feel like it. So if you have the time to sit down in 4 hours and watch it, definitely do that. If you want to break it up, it tells you when the different parts are in HBO Max. So if you want to do that, that can work as well. But again, look out for my spoiler review. Leave your thoughts down below of what you think of Zack Snyder's Justice League. And keep it no spoilers for this video. Like this video, please. And subscribe to the channel for more content like my spoiler review for this movie. And I'll see you guys later.